very much, Mr. Chair. Thanks, everybody, for coming today. Mr. Brooks, I'm just going to start with you here. If a company were to be a net negative emitter, is that a good thing?
Sure.
Would it matter which section or segment of the economy that it came from?
If they were net negative, I suppose not. Although the fossil fuel sector, we're talking about the emissions that come from the production of fossil fuels, but what's important to understand is that a lot of emissions come from the use and the combustion of fossil fuels. So even if we did have, say, net zero oil and gas production, the selling and the combustion of that oil and gas is still going to contribute to climate change. So I don't think that sector can ever actually be net zero.
Okay, so if we're looking at it on the production side, though, like there already is a company that is like largely net negative in Saskatchewan. There's another one in Alberta that is net negative. And actually, the one in Alberta is net negative at stage 1, 2, and 3, which is not just at the production side, but also on the usage side as well. So again, does it matter then what sector is doing? I guess what I'm trying to get at here is if the goal is ultimately emissions reduction, if these companies are doing it to the point where they're actually net negative, is that a good thing or is that not allowed?
If it were possible, it would be a good thing. But fossil fuels are hydrocarbons, and when they get burned, like we're using the hydrogen and releasing the carbon, and it combines with oxygen, becomes carbon dioxide, and that's what. The combustion of fossil fuels are responsible for 80% or more of the emissions that have caused climate change to date. And I think you can't really get net zero oil and gas production. So I'm not familiar with the specific companies you're referring to, but I don't think it's possible on certainly not on scope 3 emissions. And I don't know that of any cases, in fact, where we're actually zero on the production side either.
Sure. Whitecap Resources in southeastern Saskatchewan in stage 1 and 2 combined in their 2021 report, they were negative about 740,000 tons on the negative side. So for that scope 1 and 2. So it is possible, it does happen. They use enhanced oil recovery for it, which is something that the Americans have included in their plan. This government doesn't have it in their plan. So again, if it's negative emissions, I mean, does it really matter? But again, I appreciate your input on this.